Hi YouTube family. Today we're going to talk about the narcissist mirror campaign. And what that means is when they gossip about you behind your back. And that could start before you even break up or before, well, actually, I guess a lot of times it happens before your friendship ends, before the marriage ends, before you break up, before you're fired. Whatever your relationship is with the narcissist. If you are dating the narcissist, it could happen after the relationship ends. And now they have to save face and they have to portray you as a horrible, crazy nutcase in order for their friends or even your family to believe that it was your fault that the relationship ended. So it's going to happen. I don't think there is ever an instance with a narcissist where they will not speak badly about you. It's one of the most damaging things that happens in your relationship with the narcissist because it furthers the injury to you. I mean, they continue to hurt you through doing this. And sometimes they do it because not necessarily to try to hurt you, but to save their own face. They're trying to save their own reputation, especially if it's somebody who's jumping from person to person, dating multiple people at once, and then they're getting caught cheating or lying, or they're getting a reputation for using women or using men. They will then have to make it sound like it's the other person's fault so that they don't come off looking like a horrible, terrible narcissist, which they are. But I was listening to Dr. Phil on, I don't remember if it was on an Oprah thing, but he happened to talk about baiters. I guess, yeah, he has a new book out, and I think it's called Life Code. And in it, he talks about, he doesn't call them narcissists, but he talks about baiters having narcissistic personalities. And so he does go into that. He talks about them being baiters, and especially when they're when they're gossiping, he talks about how you don't want to get caught up in that because they will use gossip to trap. Excuse me, I have this little cough. To trap you in a bad situation where then you get blamed for gossiping. And it will happen. And it's interesting that I'm looking back at one particular relationship of mine, and I noticed that exact same thing had happened, I want to say maybe about a year ago now. But there are these friends that I use that term very loosely now. There's this person I knew for a long time, for years and years. I knew she had a gossip problem. She had it when we first met, and she continued to gossip about other people throughout my relationship with her, even though I would point out to her that she doesn't need to use names, and if she has an issue with somebody, just, kind of be as anonymous as she can about it if she wants advice from me. But, so one day she's talking to me about another close friend of ours. And, she talks about this close friend quite a bit. And she's closer to this friend than I am. And the only reason I even know about a lot of the details of the life of the third friend, is because she drops information here and there in conversation, whether I want to hear it or whether I am accepting it or not. But anyway, she pulled me into a gossip situation, and I regret it, and I take my full responsibility for falling for it. I thought it was kind of innocuous because she was saying this situation arose with the friend, and she disagrees with it for whatever reasons because she's concerned for the friend. So I said back to her, well, that's probably not the biggest concern. The bigger concern might be this. And I just left it at that. Like maybe you're focused on the wrong thing. The bigger concern is this other issue. And I shouldn't have even said that. I mean, that's how quickly They grab you. That's how, innocently you might feel like, well, I'm just, letting them know my opinion because, oh, no, the bigger problem is this. And you realize, what did I just say? I should have kept that opinion to myself. I shouldn't have even said anything because everybody lives their own lives and everybody, whatever, makes their own decisions and their own choices. But in this case, I thought that there was an innocent person who was going to get hurt. And I'm talking physically hurt. And that was my concern. Like, this other person is going to be physically hurt in this situation. And I'm concerned about that. And I'm not sure what to do. Well, guess what happened? She went running to that third friend to say that, what I said, to say that, oh, she is, concerned that you're going to hurt this other person, or this other person in your care is going to get hurt because of you. And oh, like how? I don't even know how she said it, but it blew up. It blew up in my face. I was the bad guy. The other person came at me and said, I know what you said. I'm like, holy cow, what, and then she doesn't come out to say what it is I said. I'm like, whatever. If you want to talk to me, talk to me. We can get it all on the table. I don't regret what I said. I believe what I said. I regret who I spoke it to. I regret that she pulled me in with a confidential moment where she was confiding in me something about the friend of ours, a concern, and it sounded like, oh, I care about this other person. This is what I'm concerned about. So she also pulled me in with empathy, thinking, oh my goodness, yeah, this is a bad situation for her, or could turn into a bad situation. Then she gets me to feel like, oh, confidentially, maybe we need to talk to this other, our friend about these things. And stupidly, I fell for it. Stupidly. I feel like such a dum-dum for doing that. And I will never do that again. I just want to tell you about this story because I want to warn you that baiters, as Dr. Phil calls them, or narcissistic toxic friends, as I call them, will pull you into a gossip situation. They will begin the gossip to get your confidence. And then, even if you just say, oh, sure, okay, I agree, or, whatever, even if you say the slightest thing just to get out of that conversation, they will take that to, and Dr. Phil says this in a situation where it's with a boss and you two are the employees, they will take it to the boss and get you in trouble with the boss and tell the boss that, guess what, so-and-so has been talking about you behind your back. And then when the boss comes to you and says, did you just talk about me and say this about me behind my back? You can't deny it because you did. But you can't at that point either say that, well, so-and-so began the conversation, or they're the ones who started talking about you, because that just looks horrible on your part. It looks like you're trying to shift the blame. You just can't win. You cannot win with a narcissist when it comes to gossip. You just can't. You have to walk away. You have to just, what, if this person was a friend of yours and they really care about you and they really want to know, they know that the narcissist is a gossip. They know this. They know who you are. They know you don't normally gossip. They know that you have character. And if they want to talk to you and get it out in the open, you're willing to, and the friendship can actually grow from this, and trust actually can grow from hardships in a friendship. And getting the truth out, that is, when you have to get the truth out and how you really feel about each other or what's going on in each other's lives, and that comes out. That's great. But in a case with a narcissist, they will triangulate. It's another way of triangulation. They may not be cheating on you, but they are using gossip to turn another person against you. And they themselves are the worst gossip in the entire town. And everybody knows it. That's the crazy thing. Like, anybody who's been around them knows they talk trash about other people. That's because, the reason for that is because it elevates them. It makes them feel good about themselves. Even though gossip doesn't work that way, really, psychologically, gossip just is a negative, evil force. It really is. Don't use it. Don't talk about other people. Don't put other people down. Live your life with a positive attitude and a positive view of people. You know, one of the most amazing things about my husband, and I'm going to give a real big, compliment to him right now, which had so impressed me from the moment I met him, was that this guy never spoke badly about anybody. And it was so refreshing to me. All he would say, and continually to this day, all he ever says are positive things about people. Everybody in his life, people at work, people in his family, his cousins, his aunts, uncles. He just speaks so highly of everyone because he sees the best in people. Now, he's not this gullible person, but he's a wise man. But he also wants to see the best in people. He wants to bring out the best in people. So that would be my recommendation. Be that kind of person. Bring out the best in people. I tried to stop people from gossiping, and most of the time I'm successful at it. Some of the times I've been weak, so I recognize that and I want to get stronger. And I think that good friends make you a better person. And that's how you know. Same thing with a good partner, a good husband, a good wife. They make you a better person, better character. They help to make you more more admirable. And they take you away from the parts or the characteristics that had festered inside of you. We all grow up and we all have stories to tell, injuries and woundings. And to some extent, those woundings have shaped us. And sometimes in a very negative way, because our response to woundings may not be the most, the best thing to be. Best way to be. So we respond in negative ways, or we react. And in those situations, good friends, a good partner helps you to see that you don't have to respond to your woundings in the negative way. You can respond in a positive way. And in doing that, you actually heal. You heal from the wounding, because now the wounding no longer has a hold on you. It no longer directs how you behave badly. In fact, you become stronger, you become more aware of that kind of wounding, you become more aware of bad kinds of reactions, so now you teach others not to react in that way. Well, YouTube family, I hope that this video was helpful and that you liked it. And if you did, please subscribe and like it and comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. It helps everybody to see and hear and understand that we're not alone. We're very much alike, and that we can get ourselves or each other through this. So you go out there and you have a great day, YouTube family. I wish you lots of health and hope and wholeness.